Dear guests, welcome to the opening ceremony of EUTOPIA Week, a celebratory milestone in the development of 10 European Universities Alliance. This EUTOPIA Week is hosted by the University of Ljubljana, which has been a proud member of the Alliance since the very beginning in 2018.
The idea of EUTOPIA is to become an open, multicultural, confederated operation of connected campuses by 2025. In the past 3 years, many projects focusing on education, research, and student engagement were developed and came to fruition.
EUTOPIA is a learning and research community that unites 10 renowned European universities with a common goal: to create an open, diverse, and multicultural higher education space. We are excited that these ideas attract more and more European universities to join our alliance.
Dear students, researchers, professors, EUTOPIA staff, and strategic partners, we believe an exciting week is ahead of you, with more than 80 events. Receptions, meetings, lectures, roundtables, workshops, presentations, exhibitions, panels, and even less formal social events, such as art exhibitions and city tours.
But now, without further ado, we welcome the rector of the University of Ljubljana, Sir Gregor Majdič, for his opening speech.
Dear rectors, presidents, vice-chancellors, dear distinguished guests, dear colleagues and friends. It is my great pleasure to welcome you all here in Slovenia, in Ljubljana, and the University of Ljubljana is indeed very honored to host this last EUTOPIA Week of the original EUTOPIA project, which actually also started here in Ljubljana. We at the University of Ljubljana are very proud to be a member of the EUTOPIA Alliance, a learning and research community that unites 10 renowned European universities with a common goal: to create an open, diverse, and multicultural higher education space. As I mentioned, we are starting the last week of EUTOPIA 2050 project. However, of course, this does not mean the end of the EUTOPIA. During the first 4 years, EUTOPIA has developed into a deep relationship among the member universities. We grew from initial 6 universities to 10 members, to a network of 10 European universities from different European regions, covering Europe from north to south, from west to east. Through EUTOPIA, we have already provided numerous opportunities for our students and staff to meet, study, and work together as one team. Students and staff are already benefiting from the exchange of ideas and collaborations, although there is certainly a lot of room for improvement. We must bring EUTOPIA to all our students and staff. Everyone at each member university should know what EUTOPIA is and what are the goals and the benefits of collaboration. Everybody at our universities should feel like EUTOPIAN. This is a task for us, university leaders, and I'm sure we can do it. Although some of us have not been part of the EUTOPIA from the beginning, we all feel the deep sense of belonging to EUTOPIA, and most importantly, we have developed a deep trust and profound understanding of each other. As one of my fellow rectors once said, the EUTOPIA Alliance is different from usual research consortia. Within EUTOPIA, we have developed a sense of connectedness and trust that allow us to discuss a variety of things, not just what is good about our university, but also what is not so good, what we need to improve, and how we can improve through the interaction with other EUTOPIA members. EUTOPIA has passed first infant years, and now it is time to move on. We are very happy to secure the funding for the new project, EUTOPIA More, and I'm sure we have very exciting years ahead of us. If we are to fulfill the European Commission idea and wish to create a European university, we need to bring our universities even closer together. Joint and double degrees, more staff exchanges, joint research projects, exchange of administrative and support staff, bringing closer our habilitation criteria. These are just some of the things we need to work on if we really want to create a close-knit, unified academic community. And I strongly believe that all rectors present here share this vision, and we will work together and accomplish this task and challenges in the next EUTOPIA project. EUTOPIA Week in Ljubljana will provide a great opportunity to celebrate many achievements of the past, but we will also focus on discussions about approaches and strategies for the future development of EUTOPIA. Besides, through various events and meetings, we can establish many new contacts, improve our networks and in-person communication, acquire and exchange information, experiences, and good practices. Last but not least, I would like to thank Eva Wiberg, who led the EUTOPIA for the last 2 years, and Nikki Makel, who worked very closely with Eva as a Secretary General. You both did a very great job, and the achievements you reached are numerous and real. It has been hard work for both of you, but I know I speak on behalf of all the directors and all EUTOPIANs when I say that we are all very thankful and grateful to both of you for all the hard work you dedicated to the growth of EUTOPIA. We will soon also say goodbye to 3 other members, important members of EUTOPIA, to François Germinet, who is stepping down as a rector of University Paris-Cergy, Oriol Amat, who is stepping down as rector of the University Pompeu Fabra in Barcelona, and Luc from VUB, who's been an important member as a vice president for EUTOPIA at VUB since the beginning, and his contribution has been very important to the development of EUTOPIA, what it is today. Dear EUTOPIANs, I truly look forward to learning from and with you during the EUTOPIA Week and beyond. I wish you a warm welcome in Ljubljana, and I hope that you will enjoy your stay in Slovenia, despite the weather, which is unfortunately typical for this time of year. Nevertheless, Slovenia and Ljubljana have much to offer, so even if you will not have time to go around Slovenia this time, you are all very welcome to come again and visit other parts of Slovenia besides Ljubljana. High alpine peaks, lakes, rolling hills with vineyards, Mediterranean coast, beautiful karst caves, and much more. We have it all, and we would be very happy to host you again in our small but beautiful country. Welcome again to Ljubljana and to Slovenia, and enjoy the EUTOPIA Week.
Thank you, Rector. Madam Maria Gabriel, the Commissioner for Innovation, Research, Culture, Education and Youth at the European Commission, could not come to Ljubljana today in person, but she will nevertheless address us. Madam Gabriel, please.
Dear Minister Papic, dear friends, I could not join you today, but I couldn't miss this chance to send my strongest support for your work as you hit this important milestone. 3 years ago, your institutions set out to transform higher education, tracing a path towards transnational cooperation that honored the legacy of both the Bologna process and Erasmus+. Today, EUTOPIA remains an example to universities across Europe and the world. You added 4 new partners to your impressive roster, and you have been reselected for Erasmus+ support under this initiative, continuing to lead the sector by example. Adding 4 new partners is as impressive as it is difficult, because this initiative is nothing short of bringing university communities together, students, staff, and the regional ecosystems in which your institutions play a central role. Mutatis mutandis, in the European Union, we know a little about enlargement. There is so much to gain, but it is by no means easy. Luckily, you have learned a lot already from your experience as well as that of our other European universities. In fact, these lessons have been well taken, feeding into our work at European level as we devised the European Strategy for Universities and the new European Innovation Agenda. We could not have put forth these 2 landmark policy initiatives without your precious cooperation or without the support of the sector, member states and stakeholders alike. These documents were tailor-made to support the higher education community and the broader innovative ecosystems across Europe as we tackle the biggest challenges of our time, tackling climate change, digitalizing our societies, ushering the fourth innovation wave, deep tech innovation. The strategy for universities brings together all our pooled knowledge and capacity to enhance transnational cooperation. At the same time, the innovation agenda brings together policies, instruments, and investments to empower our innovators and startups and make sure they flourish wherever they may be, interconnecting regional innovation ecosystems. Ultimately, we want to nurture, attract, and retain our talent because, as you well know, our most precious capital is our human capital. We saw a glimpse of this potential at the first European Education and Innovation Summit, as so many institutions and entrepreneurs shared their experiences, their knowledge, and their aspirations. In fact, I would like to thank Minister Papic for his participation and insight. And it was precisely there, to unleash this potential, that I set up the new network of innovative higher education institutions. These institutions bring together highly innovative profiles covering the whole European Union. I'm sure their ideas, knowledge, and experience on promoting innovation will be extremely valuable to alliances such as EUTOPIA, and so will your efforts be invaluable to the network's goals. I'm very much looking forward to their recommendations, which will come out this December at the European Education Summit. Just as I'm looking forward to seeing this new phase of EUTOPIA developing in tandem with the European Strategy for Universities and the new European Innovation Agenda, with all your work paving the way to a higher education sector that is continuously fit for purpose, with institutions like yours in the driver's seat and with our full support. I wish you now all a fantastic EUTOPIA conference full of enlightening discussions and fruitful networking.
I'm in heaven, and my heart beats so that I can hardly speak, and I seem to find the happiness I see when we're out together dancing cheek to cheek. Oh heaven, I'm in heaven, and the cares that hung around me through the week seem to vanish like a gunner's lucky streak when we're out together dancing cheek to cheek. Oh, I love to go out fishing in a river or a creek, but I don't enjoy it half as much as dancing cheek to cheek. Oh, I love to climb a mountain or to reach the highest peak, but I don't enjoy it half as much as dancing cheek to cheek. Oh, mama, dance with me. I want my arms around you. That charm about you will carry me through to heaven. I'm in heaven, and my heart beats so that I can hardly speak, and I seem to find the happiness I see when we're out together dancing cheek to cheek. Go out fishing in a river or a creek, but I don't enjoy it half as much as dancing cheek to cheek. Oh mama, dance with me. I want my arms around you. That charm about you will carry me through to heaven. I'm in heaven, and my heart beats so that I can hardly speak, and I seem to find the happiness I see when we're out together, when we're out together, when we're out together, when we're out together, dancing on mama, we're dancing.
Thank you, Academy of Music Jazz Ensemble. And now we welcome the Utopia More coordinator, Sir Josep Oriol Amat Salas, rector of the Pompeu Fabra University from Barcelona, to present the new chapter in the Utopia journey, Utopia More.
Presidents, Vice Presidents, Utopia friends and colleagues, I will ask also the Vice President of UPF, Tony Luna, to join me to give this very short speech. So thank you, Tony, for coming. As you know, Utopia is a dream, like a European university is a dream, is a long-term dream, and we are sure that we will achieve this dream, but it's not sure because it's very difficult. To create a public university, it's very difficult. To create an alliance and a new university integrated by 10 public universities, that's very difficult, but we are sure we will achieve this dream. But anyway, what is important is that in the long way to this dream, we are achieving every day, every week, every month, we are achieving many good results. We have joint programs, we have research programs, we have visiting appointments, a lot of interchange of students, staff, faculty, and so. So it's important to realize that we are now, and in the past, achieved many results. We feel very honored to receive the testimony of the University of Ljubljana, who has coordinated the first step of this alliance. Now, we feel very honored to be the coordinators of the second step because we want more utopia, and that's why we have Utopia More. And now I will ask our Vice President for International UPF to speak a little bit about this second step. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I think Oriol has already mentioned how honored we are to be part of the Utopia and to be leading this second step. As the rector of Ljubljana mentioned, the Utopia was in the childhood. We're going to take care of the teenage years. It's going to be very rough. So I think it's very, very difficult, and I need your help with this. I think we have, and I have to thank Nikki and all the people who organized these things from the beginning, have created a sense of friendship, of trust. And I think it's what we need more, is a lot of trust from each other and a lot of generosity. Second, I think it's interesting to mention that this is a very interesting innovation process on higher education that comes from the public sector, that doesn't happen that often, and is making a lot of impact, not only in Europe, but beyond. I wanted to mention also that the values that this project involves are part of the European values. So the real European values. So we don't accept Brexits in these European projects. So that's something we need to think, and then we need to collaborate in a strong way. So I think you will help us to do as well as they did in Ljubljana during these 3 years. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Madam Nikki Mako, Secretary General of Utopia, is an international higher education professional with an expertise in leading international strategic programs and partnerships, in collaboration with the policy, industry, and education sectors. Skilled in policy analysis, strategy development and change implementation, program management, data analysis, research funding, and external engagement. Madam Mako, please.
Hello everybody, welcome to Ljubljana. And I want to start by saying a huge thank you to the team here that have put together this week for us. So to Gregor, to Bastian, but also the team that have really done the work. So to Tiasha, to Mattia, to Iris, to Christina, thank you to all of you for the work that you've done for putting this week together. So first of all, I want to talk a little bit today about how far we've come in the last 5 years. Many of you don't know, whenever you start a speech about European universities, you have to start with the fact that Macron made a speech in Paris in 2017. So I've mentioned it. What you probably don't know is literally 2 miles down the road from where he was making that speech, there was a meeting of 3 universities that came together to talk about how we could collaborate as an alliance. So CY, VUB and Warwick were in Paris that day, and we were talking about how we could do something new and innovative together. And actually that for Utopia was the beginning. We didn't know Macron was making a speech, that was a coincidence, but that was the real starting point for Utopia. 5 years ago, and when you think about how far we've come in that 5 years, it's truly outstanding. Now we have activities across all the 4 corners of the knowledge square, so education, research and innovation, and connections with society. We have the 30 learning communities, which bring together educators in new and innovative ways to provide opportunities for our students. We also now have 13 research incubators, which are bringing together our academics and our researchers to see how we can collaborate better across our institutions in delivering solutions to global and societal challenges. We are this afternoon going to be signing both the Inclusion Manifesto and the Global Partners Charter, which is a result of a lot of work over the last 3 years by the teams to get us to the point that we can sign those today. And I'd also like to give a warm welcome to the 3 representatives from our global partners that are joining us for the first time. They've joined us virtually before, but they're joining us for the first time physically today. So welcome to you. You're very pleased you're here. Various other activities. We now have established our Young Leaders Academy that is training the utopian leaders of tomorrow. We have a Science and Innovation Fellowship Programme. We have the Student Think Tank. We have the Open Innovation Challenge, which is connecting what we do in our universities with our local authorities and to our cities and regions. We've won over 30 million euros of research funding in the last 4 years. That's really significant. We now have a portfolio of projects, so we're celebrating today the finish of 2050. We also have TRAIN, we have the SIF project, we have FlexLab, and finally Utopia More. So 30 million euros of income that we've generated whilst we've been here. We've of course grown. We started as the 3 partners, we are now 10. And that is one of the significant developments of the last few years, and we're very pleased now to really be launching the future with all those 10 partners. But of course, Utopia is not just about all that activity. More than anything, Utopia is about the people that deliver what we do. And those people are not just the people that you're going to hear from today, those are the people that really do the work within our projects, within our work packages. So not just the presidents, the vice presidents, the project managers, but all of you that do the work. Our student representatives, our young leaders, all of you that are involved in this are part of that Utopia family. And really for me, that's been the thing that I've enjoyed most about Utopia, is really seeing that group of people come together as one and really take forward the future of Utopia together. There's a lot to do. We're at the stage this week where we have to finalise the 2050 project. It's our last week. And of course, I hate to say it out loud, but we have a final report to write. That's going to take a lot of work. We shouldn't forget that. And we have a lot to do, as you've heard from Oriel and Tony, to set up the next project. So there's a lot of work to do. But I'm going to invite you to do two things. Firstly, I'd like you to take time this week, in amongst the work, to really reflect on how far we've come in the last 5 years, and to reflect on how much we've achieved in those 5 years, and to really celebrate the end of the 2050 project, because I think we should celebrate it. So please, in amongst all the meetings this week, just take a moment to celebrate together how far we've come. It's also a time of big change for Utopia. So you will hear in a moment that we have a new chair and a new vice chair coming in. We will have a new, sadly, Secretary General. We have new presidents in some of our institutions, and we have a new project to set up. That's quite a lot of change. And change inevitably produces some anxiety. Some people are quite nervous about what that change all coming together is going to mean for Utopia. And to you, I'd say we have to remember as well that Utopia was set up to deliver change. We shouldn't be afraid of change. We were set up to change, we were set up to be innovative, and we really need to use this change as a driver for how we go forward. So the second thing I'd ask you to do this week is just take a moment to think about the future. Just take a moment to think about how what you're doing really delivers the future of Utopia and how you can contribute to that change that we are trying to drive. What I'd like to see is if we can achieve all that we've done in the first 5 years, think of what we can achieve in the next 5 years and what Utopia will look like in 5 years' time. So take a moment, please, to reflect on where we will be in 5 years' time and how much we can achieve together. Thank you.
At University of Ljubljana, we are especially proud of our Utopia student representative, Madam Lori Schrammel-Cebular, who received the award for the Best Ambassador and Representative. Madam Schrammel-Cebular, we are excited to hear about your experience with the Alliance, which offers a universe of opportunities.
Thank you very much for this lovely introduction and giving me the opportunity to talk in front of such a crowd. So today we are gathered here in Kazina, one of the spaces under the umbrella of the University of Ljubljana. But what use is a space like this if it is not filled and co-created by people? And in the context of university, a lot of these people are students. Throughout history, students played a very important role in the development of a variety of movements and initiatives. The famous student protests in 1968 were happening here in Ljubljana as well. Those voices, those student voices, which were primarily addressing the socio-economical issues, in the next years also questioned the role of the university. Now, when we first become students, normally we don't jump right into debates addressing the system of higher education, but we do eventually join different organizations, clubs, think tanks, communities, and in this process of self-development and learning, one of those structures, if I may say so, was EUTOPIA. I first came in contact with EUTOPIA when I took part in an extracurricular course organized by the EUTOPIA office, where we, students, were able to listen and participate in lectures delivered by researchers, some of them being Young Leaders Academy Fellows. Any student at the University of Ljubljana could, and still can, attend those courses and also get them credited at their faculty. In addition to that, the university offered us travel grants to participate in international activities and conferences organized by other universities of the Alliance. Furthermore, this year, the University of Ljubljana published, for the first time, an institutionally funded scheme called Student Individual Research Project, or SHIRP, following the example of EUTOPIA Undergraduate Research Support Scheme. SHIRP enables undergraduate and master students to visit one of the EUTOPIA universities and worked with a mentor on their topic of interest. So SHIRP allowed me to travel to Warwick and develop a clear vision of my master thesis. As I was enrolled in the previously mentioned extracurricular course, I applied to be an ambassador at Warwick Economic Summit, and was after that invited to work more closely with the EUTOPIA office. I was delighted and ready to learn, but more importantly, the EUTOPIA office was there to teach me. That's when I joined the GLAN team at our university that was helping develop the Research Support Atlas, a tool that would assist researchers in finding opportunities within the Alliance, and I was lucky enough to attend meetings on these topics at the University of Pompeu Fabra. All these activities I took part in, the meetings I attended, and the people I met taught me something new each time. But it's not just about this individual experience of mine. I took part in an essential process of knowledge exchange. Including us, students means we can learn from you and gain new skills. However, I would dare to say that this format of knowledge exchange can work both ways. Especially if we internalize the idea of knowledge not being transferred hierarchically, but it flowing in different directions from and to all individuals. Because even if we are not in the year of 1968 anymore, in the famous year of student engagement, these active students full of ideas are still among us. And these activities mentioned before are just some of the options the universities created to institutionally support us and enable our ideas and visions to prosper in an international setting. But perhaps even more substantial than us participating in them is including students to take part in forming those activities, to have them attend meetings and join debates. Because this is the opportunity to actively co-create the university together. However, as this is an alliance of EUTOPIA, we not only have the ability to co-create one university, but 10 of them. Thank you.
May we now invite Madam Anna Dragos of the Biotechnical Faculty, University of Ljubljana, to join us on the stage. Madam Anna Dragos is a prominent researcher in the field of viral bacterial interactions. She has recently acquired more than €2 million grant from the European Research Council for the project entitled Phage Control, the evolution of host manipulation by bacteriophage. Anna Dragos is also a fellow of EUTOPIA Young Leaders Academy.
Dear colleagues and dear partners in EUTOPIA Alliance, in 2014, in a cold November like this, I defended my PhD at the Biotechnical Faculty, University of Ljubljana. And during the 7 years that followed, I lived abroad working as a postdoc. When I returned here last year, I realized that my faculty and the university transformed into different institutions. At the faculty, everything digitalized. We had a project office and international office. While during my PhD, I was the only foreign student in the lab. Now you meet international students, guests, and even employees at nearly every corner. At the university level, we had a career center, research support office, and plenty of new mobility programs. And there was the EUTOPIA Alliance. The EUTOPIA mission about building connected European academic community aligned very well how I felt at the professional and personal ground, a citizen of Europe. So just a few weeks after I reintegrated to the university, they announced a call for Young Leaders Academy, and I applied without hesitation. And so, since nearly 1.5 years, together with 3 other scientists from the University of Ljubljana, we belong to so-called YLAS, Young Leaders. So what does it give me? And what can I give back to the university and to EUTOPIA? First, YLA is a constant reminder that academia goes far beyond my own faculty and my own research field. I met young leaders from the fields of economy and law, civil engineering, and social sciences. I learned about their work, their challenges, and their perspectives. It is a reminder that here in Ljubljana, we are truly privileged to be such an interdisciplinary university. And this awareness is a necessary first step towards building cross-disciplinary research. Second, thanks to Mobility Fund, we could establish connections and collaborations within EUTOPIA Alliance. Just a few weeks ago, we hosted a professor from Warwick University. I'm going there in March, and we work on shared applications for EUTOPIA CIF postdoctoral fellowships. Next, some of us became teachers in a new initiative that Laurie just mentioned, Student Extracurricular Activity Program. My course was about career in academia. The students could interact with peers from different faculties, and they could learn the behind the scenes of professor's job or what it takes to get there. Thanks to WILA network, I could also invite a colleague from different field and different university to talk to my students and share her experiences as leader. And we arranged that I will do the same for her students. So I think during this last 1.5 years, we managed to build something. We met first in Barcelona, then in Brussels, and now we are meeting here in Ljubljana. Together, we organize symposia, we participate in leadership trainings. We have a chance to interact, brainstorm, exchange experiences and ideas. I strongly believe in the concept of connecting leaders between universities, countries, and fields, as starting up as an academic leader is not an easy job. And we will be addressing some of these challenges on our WILA symposium on life-work balance, which directly links to sustainability topic of this Utopia Week. Being WILA means being close to utopia. It means promoting it within my nearest research environment, within my department and my faculty. I am proud to work at the university which is part of the Alliance, because I believe in European university concept, and every week like this brings us a step ahead towards this goal. So, dear colleagues, dear Utopians, have an enjoyable and productive Utopia Week in Ljubljana. Thank you.
We have not only gathered to celebrate the Utopia 2050 projects, but also to celebrate the bright future of the Alliance.
Two important documents, Utopia More Inclusion Manifesto and International Partners Charter, will be signed today, symbolizing the beginning of new chapters in the Utopia Alliance's future.
We invite Madam Petra Videmšek of the Faculty for Social Work, University of Ljubljana, leader of Utopia Work Package for Social Inclusion, to present the new chapter in our alliance, Utopia More, and the new Inclusion Manifesto that will be signed today.
Thank you, dear colleagues, and thank you. It's so lovely to hear a new chapter. I really need to say that today is a special day, personally and professionally for me. As a work package leader, I'm really proud that today, and especially all Utopia partners, are committed to inclusion. We begin the final Utopia Week with the inclusion by signing the Manifesto. And we will have another event about inclusion today, later on. And we will end it up with the Diversity Day. That, for me, shows that inclusion is really important. And this was my dream 3 years ago, that this will happen. And what I wanted to say today in these 2 minutes, that this really shows that inclusion is recognized and is a core value of EUTOPIA Alliance. The Inclusion Manifesto is the final result of the 3 years pilot project in the Work Package 5, Promoting Inclusion and Equal Society. Over the last 3 years, all 6 partners in the Work Package 5 have shared, analyzed, and reflect on their inclusive policies, practices, and visions. We have agreed on common definition of inclusion and disadvantages, and explored the ways to identify best practices. And not even that, we develop suggestions on how inclusion can be implemented. And even more importantly, I think the way how we done it was different. We embedded inclusive practice in our work. By co-creating with the student, we have practically shown the necessity and benefits of inclusive practice. We have presented and prepared really huge amount of papers. We prepared inclusion framework, roadmap for inclusion. We also present case studies of students. All of that, it's now available online, so each of you can see it. But as I said, Inclusion Manifesto comprises practices coming from inclusion principles. It's a compass for the future utopia, and with the aim that inclusion will remain and even strengthen the commitment to inclusion. What we wanted to do it as well, we make sure that Inclusion Manifesto is translated in all languages of Utopia, so they're accessible to entire Utopia Alliance, to the whole community and even beyond that. So we are much aware that inclusion is not something that can be defined once and for all. It could mean different things to different people. But today is time for celebration. And I will really like to invite all rectors to sign the manifesto today. For all those who would like to hear more about inclusion, I'm invited you to the session that is coming up later on in the evening about questions and answers about the Inclusion Manifesto. So I'd really like to thank all of you who worked for this, that it's coming to the real act for the signing the manifesto. So I invite all rectors to sign the manifesto, and it's time for celebrating for all of us. This is quite a huge achievement, I will say. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Widumschek. And now we invite 10 chancellors and vice-chancellors to join us.
Sir Daniel David, Babeş Bolyai University.
Sir Jan Dankert, Vrije Universiteit, Brussels.
Madam Tiziana Lipielo, Ca' Foscari, Università di Venezia.
Sir François Germinet, CY Cergy Paris Université.
Madam Ursula Staudinger, Technische Universität Dresden.
Madam Eva Wiberg, Göteborgs Universität, is not with us tonight.
Gregor Majdič, Univerza v Ljubljani.
Sir João Sagua, Universidade Nova de Lisboa.
Sir Josep Oriol Amat Salas, Universitat Pompeu Fabra, Barcelona.
And Sir Stuart Croft, University of Warwick.
We are all well aware that citizens around the world need autonomous, inclusive, responsive and connected universities providing research-based education to meet the challenges of the 21st century. Therefore, EUTOPIA has grown to now include associated global partners from across the world.
This growth allows for further collective learning and the inclusion of broader perspectives and understandings from beyond Europe to the benefit of all. Without further ado, may I ask representatives of our global partners to join us in signing the EUTOPIA International Partnership Charter.
University from Australia, represented by Madam Cecilia Hewlett, Pro Vice Chancellor, Prato Center and Global Network Development.
Kyungpook National University from South Korea, represented by Sir Jin Sam Kim, former Dean of International Affairs.
Stellenbosch University from South Africa, represented by Madam Hester Klopper, Deputy Vice Chancellor, Strategy, Global and Corporate Affairs.
Unfortunately, there is no representative of the fourth global partner from the International University of Rabat from Morocco with us today. There will certainly be many opportunities for meetings and joint activities in the upcoming years in the framework of EUTOPIA More.
Everything was going perfectly until it was my turn. What did Tony say about Brexit? It's my pleasure just to speak for a couple of moments about this really important piece of work of the signing of this international charter, which is a really important collaboration between EUTOPIA and our global partners, co-creating together something really important about how we will work together, not just now, but of course into the future, into the next stage. It is such a huge pleasure to be back here in Ljubljana, which has been so important to the development so far of EUTOPIA. And it is such a great pleasure also to be able to say welcome to these wonderful people. Let us give them again another round of applause. When you start a new initiative like EUTOPIA, you have to be quite a brave partner to say, not, what is this? But instead, how can we help? How can we be engaged? How can we co-create? And that is what has been so important in the work so far. And this charter sets out some really important principles of how we work together, based on mutual sharing, based on working for mutual understanding, based on mutual respect. Also, on the really clear reality that Europe doesn't know everything, and that some things that we as Europeans have done in the past, well, maybe we wouldn't do it again. We as Europeans need to be open to learning with and from the rest of the world as well. And that is why, working forward, we have a wonderful commitment to work with our global partners to develop the agenda of the future. So now, I'm not quite sure what to do. Do I throw this back to you two fine people? Or do I ask for people to take seats? People to take seats and sign a wonderful document, I hope.
So now we kindly ask all vice-chancellors and chancellors to sign the deal in the same order as before. Thank you. For the past 2 years, Madam Eva Weiberg, Vice-Chancellor of the University of Gothenburg, has been the chair of Utopia. Unfortunately, Madam Weiberg couldn't make it to the opening ceremony.
We welcome the rector of the University of Ljubljana, Sir Gregor Majdič, to announce her successor, the president of Utopia. Sir Gregor Majdič, please join us on the stage.
So, as I said before, I think we are all deeply grateful to Eva for the great work she did during the 2 years. And now I have the pleasure to introduce the new president of the Utopia, our colleague Tiziana Lipello from Venice. So we'll have
You must be tired, so I try to keep it short. May I invite Stuart Croft beside me? She's Vice President of Utopia from today. Thank you, Stuart. Dear Rectors, Presidents, Vice Chancellor, Vice Presidents, Project Managers, Secretary General, dear colleagues, administrative staff, dear students, good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. First of all, let me thank Gregor and the University of Ljubljana for hosting us today and for organizing the EUTOPIA Week. I feel honored to have the privilege to chair Utopia. I feel the great responsibility, and I hope we can work together in the coming 2 years in harmony. First of all, let me thank Eva and all the presidents of rectors of Utopia. I hope to deserve your trust. I'm very excited at the idea of working with you at Utopia more and confident about the success of our project. We share the same goals. We aim at implementing our European values and disseminate them together with our global partners. Thank you for being with us today. Utopia More, with UPF coordinating it, is an ambitious project, and all of us here strongly believe in it. If this project is to be successful in reaching its goals, it needs to reach the heart of our communities, as it has been said today. Utopia is our great European home. It's a place where we want to give people space to get together, to further research, to enrich teaching, to cultivate the talent of the younger generations, and to apply best practices to processes and to the organization of our universities. For these reasons, I believe it is important that we continue to work together to accelerate our community's involvement and sense of belonging. We need to start with students, the children of a united Europe, who have always been willing to get to know other cultures and experiences living in other countries. Utopia is a project that we have to place in their care. This is why it is crucial that they be directly involved as much as possible. I'm sure that many of our students are ready to appreciate this project and commit to developing it further. We need to make this possible for you students. With our project, the fundamental values of Europe can flourish: freedom, inclusion, openness, cooperation, and the awareness of the challenges we face every single day: the environment, equality, digitalization. These values and crucial issues of our time inspire Utopia and our actions. We should be proud to share this experience, and at the same time, we should feel a sense of responsibility to make good use of this wonderful opportunity. We must be courageous and willing to engage in a project that has such a high degree of potential. Let us consider, for example, one great challenge we face as European universities. We need to attract people from outside of the Alliance to strengthen mobility to and from Utopia, promote our values, and foster peace together with our global partners. We need to enhance the knowledge and skills of all our administrative staff, without whom our many activities would not be possible. As always, it is people who make a difference, with their sensitivity and their convictions. From this perspective, I believe we are an incredible, rich community. Our people are talented, competent, passionate, and motivated. This is evident in our university's participation in this week together. Involvement is key. I wish to thank Nikki for her precious work and commitment, for always being available to find solutions and answers, for her great sensibility and vision. I hope you can still be with us in the future. I express my heartfelt thanks to Eva, Francois, Gregor, Stuart, Ursula, Oriol, Joao, Daniel, Jan, who every day help me to understand and appreciate Utopia. To all the Utopians, the vice presidents, the project managers, thank you. To all the administrative staff, professors, and students of the 10 universities who work with enthusiasm and courage and commitment on this ambitious project. Thank you. My wish is that all of us will continue to cultivate this enthusiasm and trust. Let us believe in it. Let us join forces to make it grow and have a positive impact on our university, on Europe, on our societies, on the world. United, we stand. Thank you so much. And I would like to give the floor to Stuart. Again.
Thank you. Thank you, Tiziana. Now, you know, the role of a vice chair is to support, to encourage, and just occasionally to criticize. Because, you see, there's one thing in Tiziana's wonderful speech with which I disagree. Did you hear when she said, if we succeed? No, no, no. When we succeed. Because the great story of Utopia is to go from that startup when you're not quite sure what's going to happen. Is it going to work? Will people be interested in your product? And go across that investor's valley of death. Will people actually want to do things? And they did. And now we're in scale up. We have wonderful new members. We have new projects. We have new programs. There is no doubt that we will succeed. But also there is no doubt that we have a really wonderful chair. So please, one more support for Tiziana.
Thank you. And now again, I invite Rector of the University of Ljubljana, Gregor Majdič, that will present the awards to some of our distinguished Utopia leaders.
As I said before, in the next few weeks, we will say farewell to our dear friends who, although they will step down from their positions, I'm sure they will remain in their heart and close to us as a utopian forever. I would like to express the gratitude for all the work done to the first to the rector of the UPF, who is stepping down as a rector, and Oriol, it was a great pleasure meeting you, working with you, and I wish you all success in your future work. So please, Oriol. Next, I would like to thank one of the original rectors who was with EUTOPIA from the beginning and is now moving to a position where I hope he will be able to help EUTOPIA even more. With deep thanks for all the work he has done, François Germinet from the Paris, please.
Just a few words to say thank you to everybody. I mean, it has been such a great pleasure to start this wonderful adventure with people, well, incredible people, and everything in my mind started maybe not in Paris, Nikki, but in Caroline's office, and we still think a lot about her. And then it went on growing and growing and growing. And it's so wonderful to see so many people from all the 10 universities with such a dense program, such a rich program, that there is only one thing to say is long life to EUTOPIA. Thank you very much.
And finally, we have two persons who are very important and very influential in the EUTOPIA. I think both of them were present at this first meeting that Nikki mentioned in her speech in Paris 5 years ago. So first, I would like to thank Professor Luc van Langenhove, who was a vice rector for EUTOPIA at the VUB in Brussels and has been one of the pillars of the developing EUTOPIA. Thank you very much. And last but not least, a very special person for EUTOPIA, I think the person who we can call a backbone of EUTOPIA for the last 4 years, the Secretary General, who's sadly leaving us now. We are in process for looking a new Secretary General, and it will be very, very difficult to find a person with so much dedication and so much hard work dedicated to the EUTOPIA. And with this, I would really like to thank Nikki Makel for all her hard work, and I also wish you of course, yes.
Can I talk? I'm not sure. Thank you. I'm not going to start naming names because there's way too many people, but I didn't do this on my own. I did this with all of you. There are a great many friends in this room, and actually the biggest problem I have with leaving is that I don't get to see my friends anymore. You know who you are. Thank you to my family. And I am very sure that I will see you again, and this will not be the end of my journey in EUTOPIA. So thank you to everybody. I really, really appreciate your support, your help, your guidance, your criticism at times, as Stuart said, that helps as well. And I really look forward to seeing what happens with the future of EUTOPIA. Thank you.
Dear guests, this marks the ending of our ceremony and the beginning of the exciting week ahead of us. More than 80 events will take place in the following week.
So we wish you a pleasant stay in Ljubljana and seize the opportunities that EUTOPIA Week is offering you. Thank you.
American stew, and never wished for turkey as I hitched and hiked and grifted too, from Maine to Albuquerque. Alas, I missed the Buzzard's Bowl, and what is twice as sad, I was never at a party where the honored Noah can, but social circles spin too fast for me. My whole Bohemia is the place to be. I get too hungry for dinner at 8. I like the theater, but never come late. I never bother with people I hate. That's why the lady is a trap. I don't like corrupt games with barons and earls. Won't go to Harlem with airmen and pearls. Won't dish the dirt with the rest of the girls. That's why the lady is a trap. I like the green grass under my shoes. What can I lose? I'm flat, that's that.